Hello flight sim people, welcome back on another FsDoctor tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you a typical flight preparation sequence which is going to involve flight planning and flight management computer settings. In a typical flight, we first have to file a flight plan, and to do this we need waypoints for the flight plan. For this flight I am going to fly from Istanbul to Mardin Airport, which is an airport in the southeast region of Turkey. And here I am opening a website. There are other websites available to do this kind of flight preparations for other countries and other regions as well. So our departure point is Istanbul Airport, which is LTBA, and our destination is Mardin Airport, which is LTCR. We are going to submit this and we have four different routes available for this departure and destination point, and we could choose either of these routes. I'm going to choose this one. The next step is I'm going to use a program, a software called FsBuild, which is quite useful for flight planning. And here the FsBuild is loading, and I'm going to copy this route and paste it into the flight plan section, and I'm going to write the departure airport and also the destination airport. Okay, I can now type in the cruising level, flight level, which is, for this flight I will be using 35,000 feet, and I'm going to build it, and this is going to build this flight plan into the Flight Sim 2004. And also I'm going to use the Ifly 737, and this program can also create a flight plan for the Ifly 737 as well. Okay, the next step is I'm going to load the flight sim. It's going to load, and I'm using the Active Sky Evolution software for weather. You can also use the default FS weather settings, or you could use a software like this one for weather realism, for a real weather experience. The next step is I'm going to configure the Ifly configuration manager. I'm going to use a 737-800 aircraft. The aircraft is going to be full with 160 passengers and 6 crew, and the dry operating weight is 41,000 kilograms. Crew and passenger weight is about 15,000 kilograms, and the cargo weight is 3,447 kilograms. So the total zero fuel weight of our aircraft is 6 tons. It's of 6 60,000 kilograms. And this is important. The next step is I'm using the Topcat takeoff and landing performance calculation tool to get more realistic calculations. The aircraft I'm going to use is Ifly Boeing 737-800 aircraft. The weight and balance has to be set correctly. As I was telling you, our aircraft is full today, and the cargo weight is 3,447 kilograms. But you have to set the payload distribution as well. So the forward is 2,477. We have to first set this to 3,000. So this config tool information and this Topcat tool information should be the same as possible. So it was 447. You might not be able to make it exactly the same, but you could try to make it close as possible. And the forward cargo is 2,477. We could just do this way, and it's almost the same, these two settings, and the zero fuel weight is almost the same. Okay, this is fine. And now the next step is we have to write the departure reports and also the destination. Okay, we're flying from Istanbul to Mardin. The next step is to find the fuel that we are going to use for the flight. This estimates the fuel we need for the flight, which is for 5,310 kilograms. This is the trip fuel. This is the fuel that we're going to use under normal circumstances. There's a little trick here. What we actually have to do here is to open the ActiveScale Evolution software, and but of course, if you don't have a software similar to this one, it would not be easy to do a calculation like this one. But in this software we can open a flight plan, which our flight plan was LTBA to LTCR, this one, and then we can process the aircraft for this cruise altitude. And the thing that we are going to get is that we are going to get a wind speed, average wind speed, and average temperature calculation. Temperature is also important, but the most important thing is the wind speed for this one. The wind speed we are going to get here is in the direction 264 and wind speed 72 knots. This is the average speed that we are going to encounter during the flight. This is important because the average wind speed during the flight is going to affect our fuel consumption. So and the wind component is the thing that we are going to use is 63 knots. This means that we are going to encounter a tailwind of 63 knots. 63 knot tailwind is actually important because this means that we're going to use less fuel. So the destination, the normal destination here you can see is 615 nautical miles, but actually we are going to use less than this because less fuel than this destination, because we have a tailwind of 63 knots. So actually we can calculate our distance using the calculator. Actually, oh, this is the calculator. Okay, and since the distance is 615 minus the average tailwind we're going to encounter, which is 63 knots, we can say it's 60, so it's 555 nautical miles is going to be our actually air distance. So what we did here was to convert the ground distance to air distance, so we can use the air distance here as the distance, and then we can re-estimate the trip fuel. The trip fuel now is 4,800 kilograms, and the taxi fuel is about 100 kilograms, and this is the reserve fuel, 2,000 kilograms. I will make this, I can make a little bit extra, and I'm going to take 7,000 kilograms of fuel. So we are going to have 2,085 kilograms extra fuel. Okay, now the next step is we have to calculate the takeoff performance. To do this, we have to update the weather source, which is updated from the internet, and we are departing from Istanbul LTBA, and the wind speed we have is 15 knots and 040 heading, and the runway we could use could be runway 35 left or 05. Here you can see if we use the runway 05, we are going to have a headwind of 14 knots. If we use the runway 35 right, we're going to have a headwind of 10 knots. But at the same time we are going to have a crosswind of 11 knots. In the 05 we are going to have a crosswind of 4 knots. So actually using the runway 05 is more practical in this situation, but the runway 05 is shorter. Its length is 2,600 meters and runway 35 is 3,000 meters. But runway 05's length will be enough for this takeoff weight. So we now compute our takeoff, and this is the optimum configuration for our takeoff. Since our takeoff weight is almost 67,000 kilograms, the performance limit weight is 72,900, which is good. We are under the limit weight, and the optimum flap is flap 1, and the optimum takeoff power is takeoff 2. So this is because we are going to use a derated takeoff, and we can also use an assumed temperature up to 37 degrees Celsius. The next thing we are going to do is open the flight sim. Okay, now we're inside the aircraft. Now what we have to do is to set the flight management computer for the flight. First we push the ident button, which will show our flight model and our engine rating. This is important, engine rating is important, and the database status. Our database is active right now. The next thing we're going to do is to initialize our position.